What is up everyone, it's TK and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you this LALO strategy in Legends League and see how I execute my plans and of course how strong this strategy can really get. So let's dive in and see this video. Here we are on our first base, and guys, some of you may have already seen me attacking with this strategy back in Blueprint channel, which we uploaded a video around 2 or 3 days ago, maybe 2 days ago I think by the time I'm recording this. So that's basically the whole idea of LALO. But if you're new, well, I'm gonna show you how you can execute your plans perfectly, because this is the strategy that I've made with LALO. I've been really having to kind of go around with whatever can come to my mind, building something that is easier to use as a LALO strategy. And this is what I came with, because obviously the Royal Champion Charge is in the meta. Whatever strategies you use except the smash ones usually have an entrance, which is going to be with the RC walk, so that's why I'm using it on this attack. Now you can see the Town Hall is in the core, but I'm using a Flame Flinger. This is because obviously I've hit this base before. I know my Sui values and I know the HP I have on my heroes. So poison for the Clan Castle troops, and then what I do is I go from the side of this base with a giant arrow and going with Ice Golem, of course that wall breaker. RC, I try to funnel the heroes again. So if I pause the video for you and show you a little guide here, what I did is I got a little funnel with the RC and I'm getting another funnel with the Flame Flinger. But the most important thing is that whenever I get this funnel, either from left or right, I attack, but we're basically right or left, I attack with the Sui. So here, the left side is the enemy hero that is on the air. I need to get her so I can have better headhunter drops for the other two enemy heroes. So that's why I'm going with RC on the other side too. This will make it both sides easier to funnel for the Sui to go dive into the Town Hall. That's basically the whole idea of every single attack. So now with that mindset, notice whenever I drop my RC, notice the Sui after it, okay? This is now, you have a better visuals, I think, with the way I kind of explained you with the drawing. So now is where you decide if you're going to raid your queen, and you can see one Cocoon. I usually drop if the king is not dying too quickly, because don't forget the Phoenix can actually test for your traps. Now this is where I went with a rage to take down the Town Hall. I didn't know how far queen can go, but it's nice to have her going forward. Going with a mini LALO on the lower side because this is not a multi-inferno, so it's easier to take down. More LALO and the warden on the top side. I divided my headhunter here, so 2 goes for the minion prince and 1 goes to the enemy RC. A lot easier with the pathing. Going with double haste because I have massive group of loons and it's not just one narrowed loons. If I had one group, I would have haste just 1, but because I have 2 wider group of loons, we go with double haste to speed everything into the back end. And you can see I don't think I lost 1 loon in this attack, and that's crazy. With the Town Hall 17 being all about splash damage with the new Town Hall weapon, with those, fire spitters, 4 heroes that you need to take down, because obviously back then we had a king and we had a warden. King is on the ground and warden used to be a defense, if you guys don't forget. Now we have basically 3 air heroes at least on every single attack. So it's harder to execute a LALO attack, but obviously with these plannings everything can be simple. Here we are on a double poison base again with a core Town Hall, but this one has a bit different kind of, I would say, style to it than the last core Town Hall. You can see the way this one has a lot more separated defenses, whereas the fireball value cannot be there. So going with this RC walk, and guys, always let your RC take a bit damage before dropping your spell. So look at this, taking a bit of damage and then I'm dropping the spells. This will make it so once the invisibility is off, you're actually going to be invisible. But if you don't do that, if you're panicking and drop the invis too early, after the invisibility, your RC will still take that damage even more, because now you don't know exactly when she's going to go invisible, so you're going to even panic more. So we got the funnel. Now don't forget the drawings. I made the funnel. Now I'm going with that air sweeper takedown, of course, with the giant arrow. You might be saying, why do I don't have the magic mirror or the frozen arrow? It's simply because in Legends League there is a lot of invisibility tower bases, so the giant arrow helps you with the Sui and the LALO itself. It's good to activate them. Now, going with this Sui into the multi-inferno, notice the ice golem because my queen was going too low, so the multi-archer tower can actually switch targets. Now again, this is where the RC will funnel the left side, making the pathing narrower to go for the town hall. Visual the drawings again. This is how I execute every plan, going with RC on both sides. So I don't have other like Blizzard or Super Archers or Flame Flinger funnels or even Blimp with Yetis. RC is doing both side funnels, and that's what makes this strategy very beautiful. So you can see I usually drop a Coco Loon if I'm going to take down a core like a Town Hall or even other cores, because you can see the King is dying a bit late, but now the Phoenix is pulling the Loons. Once I know the Town Hall will get secured, let me show you my LALO. So we are going with the Hound. Of course, I'm gonna pick the pen here for you so you can see everything better. Hound for the air defense. Now we got Loons. Once this Archer Tower is also on the Hound, I can go with more Loons on top of it, going with 2 group of Loons, and this will make a whole pack going through this base. All that matters for your Inferno, like for your Loons to go to the Inferno, is this defenses. Once you take these down, the pathing is again narrowed. If you don't, your Loons could potentially go to the side or to this side. If you again don't take down the Town Hall with the Queen, you will completely miss the Inferno and you will spend a lot of free spells, which don't forget you still got 2 like splash damage and an enemy hero on the back end. So let's just watch my LALO. I'm gonna try my best to explain it. Going with more group of Loons and that Stone Slammer to take down these buildings which are very high damage. Another Hound, more Headhunter on the backside. This is where I drop again more Headhunters, and now we can go with the haste. Hasting the Hound, Loons, and then don't forget these Headhunters will get hasted into the next enemy hero. Now once this air defense is tanked by that Warden ability Lava Hound, you can go with this takedown of the rest of like the surrounding defenses, and the air defense wouldn't really annoy you. Now what's happening is that this is where you can start using your main spells, which is going to be the rage if you have it, the haste, and the freezes. So what you used only like spell wise with the LALO is just 1 haste at the beginning. Like the last attack we used 2 haste, as I said, because we had massive like line of group of Loons, but this one you can see we had a narrowed 1 or 2 pack which was in same direction. You can see you can haste them 1 time, so you don't need to use double haste. But that's when then the second haste will come in handy for the back end to go into those multi-infernos or the scatter shots. That's how you can have a smooth LALO onto any base. So let's move on to our third approach. Here we are on this base. Now, I've seen these bases a lot with the double invis, and I wanted to bring it to you so you can see how it's kind of easy to take down. And honestly, this base right here is one of the easiest to take down with LALO because you actually won't need the Warden. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of you may have Twitter, some of you may have seen me post on Twitter, and this is the replay of that exact post. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna go with the Flame Flinger on the lower side. Usually this base does not have the mortars here. There is some edited version which we have mortars right around these 2 areas, but not this one. Now notice my RC, I dropped it on the Wizard Tower, so by the time she makes that invisibility tower invisible and moves to the air defense, the invisibility tower is actually back, so you can actually take down that entire area with your RC walk. But let's see how far my RC gets. So just notice the timings with those invisibility spells. If you're new to RC walk, I don't know how much you had practice, but keep practicing. It's gonna get easier. Now I went with the Loon to take down that building so we can have quicker stuff, and the worst thing about a Flame Flinger, as you saw from the first attack, is that once the RC is actually near the CC, she can pull the CC, or the Fox in this case, and the CC will actually go to your Flame Flinger. So make sure you are dropping the poison, wizard, or a baby dragon to kill that CC, so your Flame Flinger has easier time moving towards that base and get the value you're looking for. Going with the wizard, but it was unfortunately in the archer tower range, so I'm going with the archer. Now moving to the top side is where I'm gonna start my Sui. Going with the ice golem, going next with the queen ability to activate the other invis. And notice, once that is activated, this is where again the RC comes in handy. So going with headhunters to enemy heroes, don't forget of course a baby dragon to funnel them into the town hall. I have the RC with the ability of that spare on the left hand side. So you can see the importance of RC on both sides again. This is kind of the same drawing, guys. Don't forget the drawing at the first attack. We got one side and now we got the other side and heroes in between. This is just larger of the value we're getting, okay? It's not too narrowed. But notice how I'm going with this now. We got multi-inferno and 2 scatter shots and the fire splitter, which RC is reaching right now. But look at my spells. Look at the, warden. Like, this base is getting wrecked to pieces and it's crazy. But obviously, as I said, this base is good to have, but at the low legends where people don't know how to hit them. In the high legends, there's a lot of people who are used to these bases and know how to hit them. Everyone has the, giant arrow and they can always activate the invis towers and it's just wrecked. Swagging Warden on LALO after the update with a full Town Hall 17, as in the Town Hall 17 has a lot of splash, guys. It's not easy to LALO a Town Hall 17, but obviously it's good to have practice, and obviously practice comes in very handy. We're going to go ahead for one more approach and see how I execute the last attack. So here we are on the last attack, and I wanted to bring you a very heavy core because obviously you're like, hold on, how the hell do you send your LALO into spitters and 3 multi-infernos with a scatter shot and this new defense, of course, in the core? And the town hall is raised up with a poison tower. Like, what is happening? That core is heavy. So you're gonna see these bases, of course, in Legends League. That's why I'm bringing it to you. So if you're switching to LALO, you can know how to take it down. Now, guys, one thing you need to notice about some of these bases is your invisibilities matter. If I didn't make that one builder invisible, my RC would go to the monolith. I've hit this base 3 times, so I know exactly the path of my royal champion. But if you make that builder invisible, she has access to at least one of those defenses, which in the original version of this base, that's one scatter shot against like where that new defense was. So now is where I'm gonna go with the ice golem. I still haven't popped the giant arrow. Now I'm gonna go. This was the reason I didn't pop it, because obviously the air defense is cooking my healers, and it's unfortunate because we lost 2. So it's not going perfectly, okay? Now again, we can see I managed to funnel the right side, going with the left side royal champion, so the heroes have access to that core through the middle. Now if you don't make that builder invisible, your RC will take down the monolith. That's what happens on every single one of my approaches on this base, but the builder invisibility was accidental. So now it's like it's even worse, because obviously we got one of the defenses in the core, but the monolith is cooking us. So let's see what I do. There's a tornado here. Yes, on every one of these bases there is that one tornado. I invested 2 freeze spells, guys, and that's my only freeze. Notice we got 2 air heroes, 2 multi-archer tower, a heavy core still remaining, and this is not like I'm gonna get everything with my king or something, okay? It's gonna be tough because this king is getting cooked once he goes to the core, but that is it from him. I'm gonna start my LALO. So let me show you how to do this. We're gonna go in with the first hound with more loons on the wizard tower. Obviously it's one defense, we don't need to narrow, like make it wider loons. I'm going with more loons on the top side. Once we reach the air defense, is for timing to go with the second hound and your headhunters. Notice my king is still doing just fine, but there's still a lot in the core. Going with the blimp a bit angled so we can use the yetis better. Now again, this is where I haste the hound, loons and the headhunters to go to the other air defense. Once the wizard tower, multi-archer tower, other wizard tower and the air defense are tanked by that lava hound that you clipped in the warden ability, this is where you can see the angles of the loons coming from the top side. That's multitasking, because obviously this side of the base still matters, but once you have that warden ability, notice I'm going with the top side loons and minions even. Like, I'm dropping minion cleanups when we still have no real plan for that core except the rage. But this is confidence. Like, you need to have the confidence and need to have the cleanup once you're doing the LALO. That's what I'm saying. You need practice. So let me play this, and you can see without a Town Hall poison, there's nothing to be worried about. And guys, notice I'm using not the healing tome because it makes your loons a lot weaker. But that life gem, you can literally go through multi-infernos and spitters like nothing because your loons will basically become like giants. I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like I have 27 giants that are flying in these attacks. Like it's a cheat code using this in LALO attacks. Obviously, you can see even with the non-perfect plan, this still goes through and absolutely crushing this space. Make sure you kind of go ahead, and if you want to use this strategy, make sure of course you copy the link down below in the description as always, but give it a lot of practice. LALO is not just something you can just go ahead and be perfect at. Okay, it needs a lot of practice. One thing I'm gonna tell you, and if you like, you can exit the video here, but if you would to stay, I'm gonna tell you this. I actually have a lot of my accounts right now doing LALO, and I'm not perfect, okay? I've been failing as well, but it makes me kind of be used to it more and more. So what you need is a full entire season, no pushing or anything, just in Legends League, starting to hit with LALO, looking at different bases, seeing if you are able to plan in 30 seconds and execute that plan perfectly, and that's when you're gonna get used to, of course, LALOing. And the Sui is important, but the most important part is that a lot of people get the perfect Sui. They get the amazing values with their abilities and heroes, but they cannot really execute the LALO itself. So go ahead and get those like kind of half the base or whatever, but make sure you keep on loloing. If you're first to lolo and beginner, you need a lot of practice. If you've been loloing before and you have the idea of how to do it, hopefully like this guy just gave you new tips or tricks, and hopefully you can actually apply that in your attacks. That would be it for today's video. Hopefully this small little kind of lolo guide on my new strategy works for you, and hopefully I'm able to bring lolo back to Clash of Clans because I missed watching it. I missed doing it. This was one of the reasons I made this strategy, because I just cannot do like other strategies and enjoy them much. You know, like the Masked Dragons or the Root Riders, like they don't give me the joy. But me loloing a Town Hall 17, that's when it gives me that pure happiness. Looking at my like loons and seeing like I'm absolutely crushing a base. This is what makes me enjoy Clash of Clans the most, and hopefully it's the same for you guys. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, comment down below what strategies you'd like to see, because I got multiple accounts and they're all in wars as well, so I can do you some nice strategies and showcase a few other new ones maybe in near future. But yeah, again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe for more in the channel. Take care and peace.